Welcome once more to my version of SmackDown, and I call it my version of SmackDown because it is the second longest running Let's Play series on the YouTube channel, and this is Let's Play WCW 2000. And now, as we enter the month of March, in this case, now we're into the month of March, we head to the next pay-per-view, which is WCW Uncensored. And as I mentioned, either in the previous video or maybe when we did the pay-per-view, I will be running the number one contendership match, where the winner will go on to face Scott Steiner at this upcoming at Uncensored in a few weeks. And that number one contender match will be done this Monday night on Nitro. And if you see the first segment on Thunder, that is what is spoken about, with me and Gene and those wrestlers also involved in the segment. As far as other matches that are getting set up for, you know what? Let's look at when Uncensored is. Uncensored is 2 weeks away on March week 3, and right now there's only 2 matches set. Well, 2 matches that I can say definitively will happen, and those 2 matches are Jeff Jarrett versus Ric Flair and The Outsiders versus Kevin Nash and Scott. The Outsiders versus Harlem Heat, not Outsiders versus themselves. And I will say this, that match between the Outsiders and Harlem Heat will be will have a stipulation included in the match. But without further ado, let's jump into this week's episode of Thunder with both feet. And now, as Thunder kicks off, we have the announcement from me and Gene Okerlund that the new WCW authority figure who will be named this Monday night on Nitro has decided that the main event of Nitro, I haven't decided if it's going to be the main event, but this Monday night on Nitro, you will see Meng versus Diamond Dallas Page versus Sid Vicious in a triple threat match, where the winner will face Scott Steiner at Uncensored for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. And you hear from all 3 men on why they're going to win the triple threat this Monday night on Nitro. And now we move to the first match tonight, as Eddie Guerrero goes up against Steven Rio for the WCW United States Championship, and Eddie Guerrero gets the victory over the veteran, retaining his United States Championship in actually a very solid match to kick off Thunder. And now, I know you see, Bret Hart, Diamond Dallas, they're not feuding. You're right, they're not. They're not. But if you don't know by now what I do, then go back and watch other videos from the night after a pay-per-view, because this is the Thunder following Night of the Legends. So this is basically me using Bret Hart and Diamond Dallas Page's names to get a quality rated segment. Yes, I know. That's cheap. I don't care. I don't care. It's a 3-minute video package highlighting the pay-per-view. Who cares? And now we go backstage where we hear the Total Package and Buff Bagwell both ranting to each other about how disrespected they feel and hope that new management in WCW is exactly what is needed to make 2 high-profile names and phenomenal athletes feel like they belong and that they mean something. Again, if you don't know WCW around this time, these two actually became a tag team. Totally Buff. And that is exactly what I'm doing here. I'm planting the seeds for them to form their tag team. Why? Because if you know anything about Buff Bagwell and the total package from this Let's Play so far, you know they have not done shit since I started at WCW. Basically, the extent of what the Lex Luger has done is put over Hulk Hogan. And Buff Bagwell, he's done nothing, pretty much. So, this will help them both get consistent TV time and would also help my tag team division. And now we move to the Cruiserweight division, as Chavo Guerrero defeats La Parka in Cruiserweight action tonight, as the whole division is grasping for position to chase down Juventud Guerrera, who shockingly recently defeated Dean Malenko, which I honestly thought Dean Malenko was going to beat Juvi, and I would be saying Dean Malenko was Cruiserweight champion. But no, Juvi actually surprisingly defeated Dean. So, you will actually probably see Juvi in action on Nitro. But speaking of champions, the reigning and defending WCW Hardcore Champion is with Gene Okerlund right now, and he is talking about his hatred for Terry Funk and the gall Funk has to get in Bam Bam's face at Night of the Legends and actually think he could beat Bam Bam in a fight. And Bam Bam says that if security didn't get involved, old man, I would have ended your career. They don't call uncensored. They're not going to call the next pay-per-view uncensored because it's an annual event. They're going to call it uncensored because even the censor isn't going to be able to cover up what I do to you. In 2 weeks, when you finally step into the ring with the Beast from the East. And I say reigning and defending because once again, this time Lash LaRue falls victim to the Beast from the East, as Bam Bam Bigelow successfully defends his hardcore title for the 10th time, this time against Lash LaRue. And you want to say, oh, I thought the hardcore title was always 24/7. No, only the WWE hardcore title was 24/7. The WCW title was only defended in matches, never in segments. And honestly, though I love the 24/7 rule, especially with Crash Holly, I actually would have preferred the hardcore title not be 24/7. Oh, I actually forgot about this match, to be honest with you. I forgot I had Juvi on the show tonight. But either way, Juventud Guerrera against Disco Inferno. And Juvi gets the victory to keep up his momentum-building win streak that we've seen since he beat, I believe, former Cruiserweight champion Chavo Guerrero back in February. And now we have a face-off between the Iceman Dean Malenko and Juventud Guerrera. If you remember correctly, back at Night of the Legends, I told you that the feud between Dean and Juvi is not ending, even with the clean finish to the match last Sunday night. The Cruiserweight division is limited with credible threats to Juvi, so I need Dean to stay at the top of the title picture, at least for right now. Until I get more credible people up top. And now we have Rick Steiner going up against Brian Knobbs. Yes, I'm aware that Rick Steiner and Mike Rotunda just fought the Harris brothers on Nitro, and I could have picked somebody better, meaning somebody not just seen as to avoid overusing talent, but the face roster is very limited in WCW. What can I tell you? Speaking of a face roster, I honestly don't remember the last time I actually let Terry Funk compete on camera. Yes, in the past I put him on the pre-show, but I made sure not to show the match, because it was the fact that I thought, as commissioner, Terry Funk should only be on television as the commissioner, not as an active wrestler. The fact of the matter is, Terry Funk is basically in this match to work off ring rust. Because to the live audience, he has not worked in at least a month. So, I mean, it may either I honestly don't remember, or it's just because of the gap between recordings that I don't remember, which I apologize for. And I will hopefully get better with next year. As far as Terry Funk as far as this promo with Gene Okerlund goes, Terry Funk is with Gene Okerlund, and Gene asks him about what Bam Bam Bigelow said earlier tonight regarding their match in 2 weeks at Uncensored. And I mean, I'm torn between actually giving Terry the promo and just letting him write it, because at this point in his career, I don't see him actually taking a lot from creative. You know? I mean, if I'm right, I think at this point Terry is 52 years old. So, if creative... I mean, I would just feel weird writing for Terry at this point. So, I would just tell Terry, talk about your pay-per-view match. Bam Bam's gonna say this, this, and this. So you refute that, say whatever you want. But keep it where the people can understand it. Because basically, Bam Bam said he was going to end your career. So what do you have to say to that? You know, I'm not going to have Gene spell it out for him, but it's just going to be like, okay, Bam Bam said this. What do you have to say to that? You know, it's not going to be where Terry's going to go on a tirade or a tyrant, or, you know, basically one of the promos you would see from Terry in real WCW around this time. I would stop him from doing that. Like, I would legit cut to Mike if he tried to go on a promo like that, because even though he's a legend and an icon in many ways, still, you ain't gonna fuck the show up just because of who you are. I do the same for Scott Steiner. I do the same for anybody. You're not gonna fuck the show up, and you're not gonna run the show because nobody's bigger than the brand. Ric Flair goes up again, promotes his feud with Jeff Jarrett in a very good promo to help the show. And then we move to the main event as Ric Flair goes up against Buff Bagwell, and Ric Flair gets the victory in the main event of Thunder. I mean, a solid match. I figure I probably would have wanted a little bit better match to main event the show, but still not bad. Yeah, not bad at all. I'm kind of disappointed by Buff Bagwell's 56 in-ring performance, but that's why I'm going to put him in a tag team. And yes, this will likely be the last time you see Buff Bagwell out of a tag team in this season. As for next time around, I think I may mix things up. The reason why I'm not doing it this time is because I don't know if I want to do it with this series or the TNA series, so stay tuned for that. And before I get caught up on my words again for the third time, because I just did it again, let me just say this, that I know I haven't been that consistent, and looking at the my listings of videos that I posted on YouTube. Seeing one here and then seeing the top here, the gap isn't that bad. I don't look at the date. So it could really be that I last uploaded a WCW video 3 weeks ago, but it only looks like it was 3 videos ago. So it doesn't look like it was that long ago. I mean, I know I've never really been this bad, but I will try my hardest to get better and work on it as we move to the new year, because as I'm recording this video, it is about 10 to 10 on December 31st, which means it's 2 hours till 2017 and it's 2 hours to the new year. So, with that being said, maybe, just maybe, that's one of my New Year's resolutions. To work a little bit harder and become more consistent again with YouTube videos and stop paying attention to where it ranks rather than the published date. Because I don't want to screw up the longevity possibility with this series because of lack of consistency. And if you guys are still into this series, and into me getting a little bit more consistent with these videos and other series like TNA, like World Class, and The Invasion, let me know down in the comment section below, and also let me know what you'd like to see from this channel in 2017, because I want to hear from you guys. But if you don't want to leave a comment, you can always leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this that you can only find right here at Wrestling Express. Till next time, later.